Hey, it's Hinur here. And yes, before you ask, my voice does sound a little different today. I've got a tiny sore throat, so think of this as my mysterious jazz radio host era. It's giving late night FM station vibes, but don't worry, I'm still bringing you the same chaos and questionable wisdom you signed up for. Today, we're diving into something that sounds super dramatic, but is actually real life. We're talking about the weird mourning of old versions of yourself. You know those moments where you realize, oh, that me? She's gone. She's not coming back. And that's kind of sad. Like, sure, we celebrate growth, glow up season, main character era, all that. But no one talks about the funeral for your old self. Yeah, that version of you left behind. You kind of miss her. Hot take. Personal growth is also a kind of grief, and no one sends you flowers for that. So, let's be real. Leaving behind old versions of yourself isn't just I'm better now, it's also, wait, did I just ghost myself? Think about it. You used to have a certain habits, styles, even slang words you don't use anymore. Remember when you had your spot at a cafe or your signature drink you'd order every single time? Now you walk in and realize, yeah, you've changed. It's not bad, it's just bittersweet. And here's the weird part. You're not even sure if you changed because you wanted to or because life showed you in that direction like a pushy older sibling. And it's awkward because the word claps for new you, but no one really asks, hey, how's old you doing? You guys still talking? You can't plan these moments. They're sneaky. They show up when you least expect it, like little emotional jump scares. For example, old songs. Music is basically a time machine for feelings. You hear a 2014 song and suddenly you're back in your old bedroom, wearing clothes you thought were stylish, texting people you don't even talk to anymore. It's not just remembering the song, it's remembering who you were when you loved it. The way you'd loop it 100 times, thinking it was written just for you. Or maybe scents. Perfume you wore years ago? Oh, prepare to spiral. You smell it, and it's like you just summoned an old ghost version of yourself. She's standing there like, hey, remember me? I was fun. I had questionable eyebrows, but I also had that I can do anything energy you kind of lost. And sometimes it's not even perfume. It's the smell of your old school hallway or the shampoo you used during a certain summer. And what else? Maybe old apps or social media memories? Like, on this day, 7 years ago, blah, blah, blah. Instagram and Facebook really need to stop giving me unsolicited emotional flashbacks. I didn't ask to see my 2018 self trying to cut her own bangs or that one chaotic group photo where we all thought duck face was a good idea. It's like, thanks for reminding me of that person and also how bad my phone camera used to be. And weirdly specific food memories. Why does eating instant noodles at 2 a.m. instantly put me in my like high school era feelings or drinking that one brand of peach iced tea that instantly transports me to sitting in a park with my high school best friends complaining about life like we were 45-year-old philosophers. Haha. Or maybe places you haven't been in years. Walking past your old workplace or neighborhood hits different. The building's still there, but your life from that time isn't. It's like the set of a TV show that's been cancelled. But you were the main character once. And what else? Maybe clothes you forgot? Finding an old hoodie at the back of your closet? That's not just fabric, it's a whole era. That hoodie was there when you cried after a breakup, pulled all nighters for an exam, or binge watched the show in one weekend. These triggers sneak up, punch you in the nostalgia, and disappear, leaving you with that weird ache for a version of yourself you can't call or text anymore. So apparently, there's something called identity discontinuity. It's when your current self feels disconnected from your past self. It's why people say, I can't believe that was me. Our brains don't store self as one unbroken line. It's more like multiple playlists. And sometimes you just stop playing one. And grief, yeah, it's not just for people who pass away. Psychologists even talk about living loss. It means losing something that still exists but is no longer in your life. And that includes you. So basically, your brain is like, we upgraded the software, but remember how cute the old version was? Other generations also change and grow, but Gen Z, we literally have our whole transformation documented online. You can scroll back and see the exact moment you stopped dressing like a Tumblr poet and started dressing like whatever your current aesthetic is. That's why it stings more. We can't just remember old versions, we can replay them in 4K. Also, the internet has trained us to keep reinventing ourselves for the algorithm. New identity every few years, new niche, new vibe. But no one tells you that all these updates leave behind a bunch of ex versions of you, like digital ex boyfriends you didn't emotionally break up with. So, how do we keep the good parts without carrying the old baggage? This is the tricky part, right? Because if you're not careful, you either cling too hard to old you or you throw them away completely and lose stuff you actually liked. Here's what I've been figuring out lately. For example, instead of trying to be old you, ask, what did they do that I genuinely loved? Maybe past you was more spontaneous, more stylish, more willing to say yes. You can keep those habits or traits without also bringing back the bad habits. Think of it like downloading your favorite songs from an album. You don't need to keep the filler tracks. Or create a nostalgia day. Well, this sounds silly, but it's powerful. Once in a while, dress like 2019 you. Play the music, eat the food you used to love, but make it intentional. A little trip to the past, not a permanent move. It scratches the itch without dragging you back. Or maybe rewrite the memory. If there's an old you you're so mad at, for choices they made, for people they trusted, try this. Write a note to them as if they were your little sibling. Suddenly, you're gentler. You stop blaming and start understanding. That compassion lets you keep the lessons without the resentment. Or maybe upgrade instead of erase. Sometimes you can take something from old you and just evolve it. If past you loved painting but now you don't have time, maybe current you can do mini sketches on your phone. It's not the same, but it keeps the spark alive in a way that fits your life now. Or maybe, just maybe, build a you museum. Okay, hear me out. Make a box or folder where you keep bits of past selves, photos, old playlists, a shirt, a note. You don't carry it everywhere, but you know it's there. When you visit, you remember them fondly. And then you go back to the present. It's like visiting a hometown you outgrown. The goal isn't to kill off every old version of you or to live in the past forever. It's to carry the best souvenirs forward while leaving the broken suitcases behind. Yeah, personal growth isn't just sparkle and glow ups, it's also a quiet little funeral for the selves you've been. Sometimes you will miss them like an old friend, and sometimes you will be relieved that they're gone. And maybe that's the real point. Every version of you existed for a reason. Some stayed longer, some were temporary, but all of them got you there. And here is a pretty good place to be. All right, before we say goodbye today, I want to do a quick little vocab snack. Not a full English lesson. I'm not about start grading your homework, but I did throw in some fancy-ish words in today's episode. So if you're learning English and you're like, wait, what does that mean? Or you just want to sound extra clever when you talk about your old selves, here's your cheat sheet. So our first word is Bittersweet. Bittersweet. It means when something feels happy and sad at the same time. For example, saying goodbye to my old apartment was bittersweet. I loved it, but I was ready to move on. Next is spiral. Spiral. It means to start overthinking or feeling worse and worse, like you're going down a mental slide. For example, I smelled my old perfume and totally spiraled into memories from high school. And next word is nostalgia. Nostalgia. It means a warm, sometimes sad feeling when you remember the past. For example, that song gives me so much nostalgia for summer nights with my friends. Next word is era. Era. It's a specific period of time in your life with a certain style or vibe. For example, I'm currently in my gym every morning era. We'll see how long it lasts. Next word is discontinuity. Discontinuity. It means a break or gap in something that was once connected. For example, there's a real discontinuity between who I was in college and who I am now. Next word is resentment. Resentment. It's an anger or bitterness about something that feels unfair. For example, I used to feel resentment towards old me for wasting time on the wrong people. Next is compassion. Compassion. It's a feeling of kindness and understanding for someone. For example, I decided to have compassion for my past self instead of judging her. And the next word is evolve. Evolve. It means to slowly change or develop into something new. For example, my style has evolved from streetwear to a mix of comfy and chic. Next word is souvenir. Souvenir. It's something you keep to remind you of a time, place, or experience. For example, that hoodie is my souvenir from the year I studied abroad. And last word is fondly. Fondly. It means with warm and loving feelings. For example, I look back fondly on my early 20s even though they were chaotic. So yeah, growing up means you'll have to say goodbye to some versions of yourself. But maybe it's not a forever goodbye. Maybe they're just living somewhere in your memory, waiting for the right moment to show up again. And that's kind of beautiful. Thanks for hanging out with me today on English with Kay. If you like this episode, maybe send it to someone who's also quietly mourning an old version of themselves, or at least someone who needs to hear that personal growth doesn't always feel like a party. It can feel like a little funeral too. All right, see you next time. Bye!
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us create more great content.